KBLA Talk 1580 on all of our socials, then you're missing out. Download our app and find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on the web at KBLA 1580.
That's right.
Again, you can find all of our socials at KBLA 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
By the way, if you miss any of our weekday shows in real time, you can always catch up by checking out the podcast of your favorite shows at your leisure. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black.
Got your blood.
Keep following the leader.
Oh my God.
Follow the leader. 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 Yo, I come from a small city where nothing is handed. Took my talents and made them work for me, look where I landed. I know a lot of those out there really don't want me having it. They just mad that I'm creeping on them and they had advantages. See, when my voice is on, I let my voice be the change. Put it in these communities, let it give them some range. Let them know that they got a shot at anything they want. And it ain't all about the teaching, but really how they responded. And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley audio media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits. We got that food for soul, not what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it. I am unapologetically progressive in efforts to fight for the people. Gotta exercise our voting rights and then push the needle. I'm walking tall, cause I know that y'all expect me to lead. To push the message, I am willing to bleed. I gotta get what I need. That's social reform, that's prison reform. I'm highly informed, don't put down a pen. I got a list, I can't resist. I preach it till I talk with a list. And who you know gon' give it to you like this? And here on KBLA Talk 1580, we gon' get into it. The whole world on Smiley audio media. The others tell it, but they truths have some limits to it. We got that food for soul, not what they feeding you. Black lives matter all the time. Yeah, let's talk about it. About the school to prison pipeline. Yeah, let's talk about it. Police brutality out of line. Yeah, let's talk about it. All these thoughts running through my mind. We gotta talk about it.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about it. We got a lot to talk about right here. KBLA Talk 1580. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show. The whole 9 of the nighttime, right at 9, ready to blaze up a monumental yet still experimental Thursday night broadcast for all the kings and queens and everybody in between. You know, all this week, my social media timelines have been peppered with a hashtag that is right up the Danny Mo Show wheelhouse, yet and still, my involvement has surprisingly been quiet as a field mouse. And the hashtag I'm referring to is hashtag Black Music Month Challenge. What people across the Twitter sphere are challenging this month is for people to check off spaces on a makeshift bingo card with choices that apparently prove that you're a lifelong member of the black music stratosphere, or as I might like to say on this broadcast, bubbling within the black music zeitgeist. Drink up, kiddies, okay? Go ahead. As many of you are fully aware, since 1979, the month of June has been branded Black Music Appreciation Month, and according to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, they credit then-President Jimmy Carter with creating the Appreciation Month, noting that it celebrates the African American musical influences that comprise an essential part of our nation's treasured cultural heritage. The celebration, the museum notes, is reestablished annually by presidential proclamation. During its official launch, President Carter hosted a celebration for black musicians at the White House back in 1979 with performances from Chuck Berry and Billy Eckstine and others. Here's a taste of Jimmy Carter on the White House lawn on that historic day back in 1979, officially launching what will become African American Appreciation Month with a speech already in progress. Listen.
It's important, in my opinion, for our own nation and the rest of the world to know the importance that the President of the United States and his family and friends attach to black music. Because in many ways, the feelings of our own black citizens throughout the history of our country has been accurately expressed in the music. And it presents a kind of history of our nation when you go back and see the evolution of black music. It's meant a lot to me as a young boy and a young man and adult in Georgia. I won't make the other states feel inferior by naming all the black musicians that have come out of Georgia.
Listen to Carter.
I'll be nice to you this afternoon.
Look at Carter flexing on him. You see that? Repping Georgia. And during that speech, he was not only right about the impact that black music has had on the nation, but across the worldwide landscape by doing what we are the best at doing. Transferring our joy, our pain, and blood in which we bleed, and somehow methodically and melodically making it universally consumable for every race, color, and creed. But if you're an avid listener to the Danny Mo Show, you are fully aware that this is primarily a hip-hop and R&B broadcast, especially in the decade of the 1990s, which will be proven with a brand new experiment at the top of the hour. I've long believed that the 1990s produced black media creations across every entertainment genre better than any decade before or even after it, with black TV shows like Martin, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Living Single, The Cosby Show, A Different World, Family Matters, The Jamie Foxx Show, and In Living Color. And black films like Juice, Above the Rim, Set It Off, The Best Man, Waiting to Exhale, Love Jones, Menace to Society, Friday, Boys in the Hood, and of course, Malcolm X. And let's not forget about the fashion trends, the hairstyles, the dance moves, and more. In my humble opinion, the 1990s were a perfect decade when black media magic was at its prevalence. And the further we move away from that fantastic decade, we understand even more that we were witnessing black excellence. But tonight is about music, though. Black music. It's Black Music Appreciation Month. Or African American Music Appreciation Month. Whatever God you serve. I kid, okay? But although this show leans heavily into the 90s hip-hop and R&B bag, I am fully aware that the pioneers of all forms of black music are the reason we can enjoy that music today. With a little help from the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture, take gospel music, for instance. Gospel music illustrates the central role that music plays in African American spiritual and religious life. The earliest forms of black musical expression in America, spirituals were based on Christian psalms and hymns and merged with African music styles and secular American music forms. Spirituals were originally an oral tradition and imparted Christian values while also defining the hardships of slavery. For example, here's James Herndon, Albertina Walker, Inez Andrews, Johnny Aaron Davis, Cassietta George, and the great Shirley Caesar of the gospel group The Caravans from 1960 with a gospel song In His Name. Listen.
We have gathered in the name of Jesus, the sweetest name in the heaven or earth below. We love and praise the name of Jesus. The power of His name can save my soul.
Absolutely fantastic. I tell you what, Dr. Ray Higgins ain't gonna like that too much. I'm just saying. We will talk to him on Tuesday. How about folk music, though? African-American folk music links back to African cultural traditions. Stemming from field hollers and work chants and game songs, folk music bursts with social commentary. Popular folk protest music spread in the 1960s, and its influence is still found within hip-hop today. Here's the great Richie Havens, sounding fine while singing his song called Freedom live on stage at Woodstock back in 1969. Listen.
Freedom, 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 freedom. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Along the way.
Wow, that is powerful. Wow. We lost that king back in 2013, but his legend still lives on today, though. How about the blues? The blues formed the foundation of contemporary American music. A lot of people don't know that, as did sacred and folk music. The blues also greatly influenced the cultural and social lives of African Americans. Geographically diverse incarnations of the blues arose in various regions, including the Mississippi Delta, Memphis, Chicago, Southern Texas. Even regional manifestation of the blues features a uniquely identifiable sound and message. For example, Mississippi Delta blues illustrated the poverty of the region while celebrating its natural and cultural richness. Here is the legendary Etta James. No, not singing At Last. Instead, singing one of the most slept-on breakup songs of all time, singing her classic track, I'd Rather Go Blind. Her vocals are masterful on this track. Listen.
Something told me it was over. Yeah. When I saw you and her talking, something deep down in my soul said, cry, girl. When I saw you and that girl walking now. Ooh, I would rather go blind, boy, than to see you walk away from me, child. Ooh. So you see, I love you so much that I don't want to watch you leave me, babe. Most of all, I just don't wanna be free, no.
Wowee, the incomparable Etta James. Like Marcus Atkins said in the thread, Etta ain't nothing to be played with, man. For real. And lastly, how about that jazz, huh? Jazz evolved from ragtime, an American style of syncopated instrumental music. Jazz first materialized in New Orleans and is often distinguished by African American musical innovation. Multiple forms of the genre exist today, from the dance-oriented music of the 1920s big band era to the experimental flair of modern avant-garde jazz. Here's the transcendent talent of Count Basie and his orchestra playing his hit song 1 O'Clock Jump on The Ed Sullivan Show back on May 29th, 1960. Listen. Woo! Coming in horns. Look at the kings in the front row. That is Count Basie. We black people are so fine. So I say all that to say this. Tonight I pay homage to the Trailblazers during this Black Music Appreciation Month as we celebrate the African American musical influences that comprise an essential part of our nation's treasured cultural heritage. We celebrate the piano playing of Duke Ellington, the guitar playing of Jimi Hendrix, the trombone playing of Jay Johnson, the harmonica playing of Little Walter, the trumpet playing of Louis Armstrong, the saxophone playing of John Coltrane, and the violin playing of Juliet Jones. I'm old enough to remember when the instrumentation of black music started to dissipate and rhythm and blues, also known as R&B, started to gravitate more towards boy bands and vocal groups like New Edition and DeBarge back in the 1980s, and we never returned to our roots, to the bomb instrument-playing bands that carried us to this point, like Earth, Wind & Fire and the Commodores and Parliament Funkadelic and Kool and the Gang, Ohio Players, and others. Some also attribute the disappearance of live instruments from black music to the arts being stripped from the schools along with the trades, but that's a whole nother conversation. I see you, Mike. I just pray that as the founding fathers and mothers of black music throughout this Black Music Appreciation Month of June 2023 are paid homage and are celebrated, we recognize that without them, none of our beloved hip-hop and R&B artists and songs would ever have been created. I appreciate you, kings and queens. To your legendary catalogs, we now toast and sing. Happy Black Music Appreciation Month. But that's just me. Tell me what you think, LA, as we celebrate Black Music Appreciation Month. Who are the artists throughout black music history that you feel never get their due? Who are the unsung heroes of black music? And whatever happened to black bands playing instruments, live instruments? What happened? And what musical genres do you still feel resonate through today's hip-hop and R&B? Holla at your boy. Your voice to change, your voice to community. Your voice is on. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. You can also stream us via the brand new KBLA streaming app on your app store, iOS or Android. It don't matter. That same app allows you to send me your questions and comments that I will answer live at different intervals throughout the broadcast. Plus, like, share, and follow your favorite radio station live on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at KBLA 1580. Feel free to follow me at Danny Mo Show on those same platforms too, plus the Danny Mo Show as usual. We'll take your comments via the ecosystem of our social network. Check this out. When we come forward, I will add another 7 series to add to the topic of conversation tonight. Look, Andy texted me this article last week, and I told him that we just had to make it a part of the Danny Mo Show this week. You see, Spotify has released a list of what it considers to be the 50 greatest hip-hop beats of all time in recognition of the 50th anniversary of the hip-hop this year. And Spotify's editorial team compiled and curated the list, and the choices and sequencing were based on originality and replay value and production value and influence and innovation and overall impact. And in honor of Black Music Appreciation Month, my 7 series tonight is the 7 greatest hip-hop beats of all time. It's a strong list, and the number 1 spot might just surprise you, or not. We shall see on the other side. Add to the conversation with your phone calls when we come forward. Welcome to the Danny Morrison Show on Unapologetically Progressive KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Andy, let's ride. Come on!
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. From middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
Hey LA, keep your utility bills low this summer while making your home the cool place to be. LADWP can help you save hundreds with air conditioner and thermostat rebates, plus free energy-efficient home upgrades and simple tips to help you beat the heat and save money. Visit ladwp.com/cool-LA.
When I move my body, I feel like freedom.
Malik Books is hosting the Freedom to Read and Write Juneteenth celebration at Westfield Culver City Mall on June 17th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Come celebrate the freedom to read and write with love, music, children's activities, author readings, book signings, and more. For more information, go to malikbooks.com. Come celebrate with us at Malik Books. Story time with Jozo Bozo the Clown. Featured author Anise Rochelle, reading and signing her bestseller, Juneteenth, a Book. Teaches children about Juneteenth. Anise Rochelle has written 5 books that promote self-love and confidence. Come celebrate at Malik Books. Fun for the whole family. Freedom to read and write the Juneteenth celebration. Our voice matters. For more information, go to malikbooks.com. Again, malikbooks.com.
If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that's between 26 and 49 employees, please listen. Lendistry is proud to announce a new program whereby small businesses and nonprofits may qualify for reimbursement of COVID sick leave expenses incurred in 2021 or 2022. This program is administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. Eligibility criteria apply and funding is limited. For more information, visit COVID covidpaidsick.com. If you're a business owner or lead a nonprofit that has between 26 and 49 employees, please listen. Lendistry is proud to announce a new program whereby small businesses and nonprofits may qualify for reimbursement of COVID sick leave expenses incurred in 2021 or 2022.
This program is administered by the California Office of the Small Business Advocate.
For more information, visit covidpaidsick.com.
Leroy, 71's backed up. What's your 20? Over.
Olivia needs more drivers for her trucking company to go the extra mile.
Got 3 more stops to make.
She wants to hitch a team to drive business forward.
Lots of double nickels on the 169. You know what I'm over? This driver shortage.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. We instantly connect you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, California, streaming live on the KBLA YouTube page as we speak. I'm not here to tell you how to think, but I am here to tell you what to think about. We black in the spot. Another episode of the Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. Once again, asking my loyal Danny Mo Show YouTube listeners, hit that like on the page right now. You see that thumbs up. Don't act like you don't see it. You trying not to put an eyeball on it. Go on, look at it. See it? See that thumbs up right there? Go on and click that thing for your boy. I don't care. Go on ahead and make it happen, all right? Because it helps us gain better traction within the algorithm. Not just this show, all the shows here at KBLA. So we would appreciate you doing that right now. By the way, let me read a few comments because we got a lot of show tonight. Let me see. Oh my God, you guys are on fire already. Marcus Atkins said, I'm ready for this show. Zeitgeist, drink up. I love it. King Joseph said, let's talk about it. And Marcus said, I'm going to call in tonight. It's been a minute. Music debates and trivia are my forte. We already know. He said, wow, Danny, eating up this musical journey. Man, I appreciate that. MJ Scott said, hello, everybody. Mimi said, happy Thursday, everybody. Mimi said, the legendary Etta James. Marcus said, making those keys sound like drums for real. Mimi said, jazz, a refreshing change from hip-hop and R&B. Happy Black Music Month. And Marcus said, yes, indeed, great testimony, Danny. Couple more here. Let me see. Mimi said, Lena Horne, Dinah Washington, Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday are legendary singers. Honors to the ancestors. And Marcus said, Chic's Good Times better be on that list. That beat started commercial hip-hop with Rapper's Delight. That's not going to be on there. Sorry. Was it on the list at all? It may have been on the list. It's not on there, though. Sorry, man. I'm going back a little too far. You know what I'm saying? And Mimi said, Count Basie, Cab Calloway, John Coltrane, Miles Davis are legendary artists. Honors to the ancestors, too. And she said, George Benson as well. I totally agree. We got a fun night tonight. Andy was mad at me. I sent him so much content for the show tonight. He didn't know what to do. I mean, we got, of course, the opening monologue. We've got the 7 series. And coming up at the top of the hour, I'm going to tell you about that right now. We've got a great debate that we're going to do for the first time. For those that were listening last night, I teased it and said, I'm thinking about doing it. We're going to go ahead and kick the tires on that bad boy tonight. Coming up at the top of the hour, I have another Pulse One-on-One interview that you need to hear. But tonight is not your standard Pulse One-on-One interview. It's my brand new musical series that will kick the tires on tonight. As you all know, we just had NCAA March Madness back in March, right? We had the NFL draft back in April. And we will have the NBA draft, I think it's next Thursday. Correct me if I'm wrong. Next Thursday, Andy? And in each of these sporting events, they're always comprised of rankings and seedings and positioning that have been randomly selected or earned to determine who will inevitably become champion of said professional league, right? So I got to thinking, what if there was a March Madness for musical artists? What if we could select a bunch of our favorite artists in an agreed upon musical genre, rank the artists in whatever category accordingly via debate, and then have them battle for black music supremacy from the 16th seed to the 1 seed to ultimately determine who is the grand champion of that genre of music? I want to launch that new series tonight. Instead of the Sweet 16, I'm branding it the Heat 16. And tonight's inaugural category will be the greatest male R&B singer from the 1990s. Now, the rules are simple. I and my competitor, whoever that may be, will each select 16 artists and rank them from 1 to 16. We will then give our selections in ascending order from 16 to 1, line by line, and debate which artist deserves to be in that spot. Yeah, we will obviously choose a lot of the same artists on our list, but they will likely not be in the same position, though. And that is where the fun debates begin. It's all about the selections, yes, but it's more about matchups, just like the NCAA, right? And we will try to finish out the list by night's end. Gonna be tough. But we gonna try. And I knew the perfect person to come up in here and kick this new musical series off with me tonight. Someone that knows and loves 90s R&B as much as I do. Troy Rawlings comes back to the Danny Mo Show tonight, my competitor tonight, on the inaugural round of the Heat 16. And on a side note, the artist can be a solo artist or in a group, doesn't matter. And if his career started in the 80s yet caught fire in the 90s, that's okay. Unless he started in the early 80s, that's a different conversation. For example, Luther Vandross is not on my list. Although he had success in the 90s, I consider his biggest and best work to be from the 1980s. And yes, Bobby Brown is on my list, though. He started his solo career in the 80s, but as we all know, he caught fire in the late 80s and went nuclear in the early 90s, right? That's the distinction. And matter of fact, same as Keith Sweat, actually. Same position as Bobby Brown when you think about it. But I welcome the debate. So at the top of the hour, Troy Rawlings, live in studio for the launch of the Heat 16. Should be a fun time in celebration of Black Music Appreciation Month, so nothing to get off my chest tonight and no upon further review clips either. But in the meantime and in between time, make sure you like, share, comment on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Tell your friends and family, do the same. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube, too, that is already on Nuclear Fire right now. And also remember to download the KBLA app to gain even more access to us. You can stream KBLA Live, and you can use the open mic feature to speak about whatever you want to talk about, and we just might play it over the air. That's the new KBLA app exclusively from KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about. Let's wait until we get to the other side to start this 7 series, because the 7 series, ooh, it's a juicy one. Let me get some more comments here. Let me see. Mimi said, indeed, King Joseph. Terry Tari said, Marvin Gaye as the best R&B singer, producer, writer, charisma. Danny, this country would have no music. But without Marvin Gaye, is Marvin Gaye the greatest R&B artist of all time? You can make the case. However, I think he's on my list. Rather controversially, might I say. But he's on my list tonight. Some say Marvin Gaye. Some say, what do? We did the best slow jam show of all time a few weeks ago. And I think I determined that Luther Vandross is the greatest slow jam artist of all time. I think you got to put him up there too. So if you take the bracket off and say, who are the greatest 90s R&B artists of all time, male, regardless of time? Whew. I'm probably going to go Marvin Gaye, I guess. Marvin, Stevie up there, Luther's up there too. And so is the gentleman that is on my list, and you will hear from me in the second hour. 1-800, controversially, of course, 1-800-920-1580. You can probably guess who it is. 1-800-920-1580, 1-800-920-1580. When we come forward, I will give you my 7 series, which is from Spotify. It's the 7 greatest hip-hop beats of all time, according to Spotify. Not me, okay? Even though I kind of agree with a lot of the list. And we will take some phone calls. Marcus say he's going to call in. I want to hear from that cat later on for sure. And we'll read some more comments. And we got a bunch more show to go. Troy Rawlings live in studio at the top of the hour. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. Right now, news and traffic. Stay there. Let's go.
Nighttime is the right time for Danny Morrison on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A mural is being created in Springfield, Massachusetts to honor Oscar-winning costume designer Ruth Carter. She was the first Black woman to win 2 Academy Awards for her work on the Black Panther movies. Carter virtually joined a press conference at City Hall this week where it was announced that the mural will be going up at the Rebecca Johnson School. Several companies are vowing to end surprise junk fees following pressure from the Biden administration. President Biden announced recently Ticketmaster parent company Live Nation and SeatGeek agreed to commit to show all fees up front for ticket purchases starting in September. The move is the latest in the administration's push to nix junk fees, which are costs tacked on at the end of purchases often for concert tickets, travel, and rentals. The president said he believes the fees are, quote, just wrong. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Kickstart your imagination with Audible. Hear celebrity and music memoirs, mysteries, true crime, and more. Audible is the home of storytelling, audiobooks, podcasts, and originals. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Is there a better day of the year to celebrate the anniversary of the only unapologetically progressive talk station west of the Mississippi, focused on issues that impact the black community?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
We think not. A station that amplifies black voices like yours with hosts and guests who look and sound like you. Celebrating our second anniversary on Juneteenth. We're KBLA Talk 1580. And you ain't seen nothing yet.
The pandemic may be over, but many Angelenos could be at risk of losing the place they call home. It's important to know your rights as a residential renter in the city of LA. Did you know eviction protection still exists for unpaid COVID-19 rental debt that was due before March 31st, 2023? And that you have 5 days to respond to an eviction notice, also known as an unlawful detainer. Learn more about your rental rights at housing.lacity.org. Be informed, be protected, be at home. JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California and around the country to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. As part of JP Morgan Chase commitment, they are taking action to help improve financial wealth and access to banking in the Black community, helping more people open low-cost checking and savings accounts, hosting community seminars with supporting Black-led institutions by building awareness about financial investments, hiring community managers, and opening community center branches like Crenshaw, Inglewood, and downtown LA. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Get the tools to help reach your financial goals. Visit today, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity. Again, jpmorganchase.com/racial equity.
Here are 3 ways to commemorate Juneteenth from AARP. 1. Learn the full history. Juneteenth was the end of slavery, but there's more. Begin by learning the whole story. 2. Celebrate. Celebrating our freedom should be a party with a purpose, with family, friends, fellowship, and oh yeah, food. 3. Support Black-owned business. In 1865, we had little to nothing, but as a people, we've been richly blessed. Express your gratitude by supporting our Black-owned businesses.
What would you call a joy that is as solemn as it is sweet and knows no bounds? A joy that's beautifully rooted in soul and resilience. This is Black joy, a joy that reflects pride and honor despite every challenge. AARP believes the power of Black joy is limitless, and we celebrate this joy supreme. Join us in celebrating Black joy at aarp.org/Black community.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Tired of being locked out of job opportunities and shut down by systemic racism? KBLA stands with you in fighting for the rights of Black workers, and we don't black down. The Los Angeles Black Workers Center is a dynamic alliance of workers, organized labor, community-based organizations, clergy, students, and scholars, working collectively to improve the position of the Black working class. The LA Black Workers Center takes a comprehensive approach to addressing the Black jobs crisis. Their programs promote access to quality jobs, racial equity in hiring and retention, discrimination-free job sites, and they prepare Black workers for employment in high-wage, career-track jobs. The Black Workers Center supports workers who need help protecting their rights on the job. They give workers access to quality jobs and remove systemic barriers to employment. To sign up for free career readiness training, get involved in organizing around anti-discrimination, learn about union apprenticeship programs, or sign on to a trade registry, please visit www.lablackworkerscenter.org. That's lablackworkerscenter.org. Together, we can beat the Black jobs crisis. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
All you black rappers, or MCs if you choose, you're so excited that white people, specifically white males, buy your grooves. I'm sure most of you know, but some may be so stupid they don't know. The only reason they buy your tracks is you use the N-word throughout your flow. They say, look at those stupid people, referring to themselves as the slave masters did.
Who is this?
Those whites say we gotta be careful with that name. The next best thing is to hear blacks say it again and again. You gangster rappers supposed to be so badass, but you never use the K-word for Jews. The simple reason is you're afraid. The Jews have the power, they'll shut you down.
Is this anonymous?
Nobody uses that K-word. In fact, most people don't know what it is, but everybody knows the N-word, and you gangster rappers are largely to blame. You're still a slave, though you think you've got it made. Cause the white people buy your rhymes, putting down black people every other line. You're still a slave, bowing down to the white master. Fast forward, you're broke, feeble, and old. Was it worth selling your soul?
Okay.
What are your thoughts, Danny Mo?
Why you gonna put me on the spot like this, man?
How you feel, man?
Because
Speak on it.
You know, I'm a positive person. I try to be always.
Speak on it. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
I always try to be.
Tell the truth and shame the devil. Tell the truth. Can you handle it? Can the people handle it?
Oh my God.
Speak on it. Be honest.
That was terrible. That was awful.
Well, what about the subject matter, though? You were speaking some facts, right?
I'd rather drink bleach than listen to that song again. Are you?
You didn't like the subject matter?
The subject matter was cool. But first, that flow was, I don't know what that was, man. That was like Sesame Street. I don't know, what was that? Anonymous, I'm sorry. I love you, man. I appreciate you being a part of the show every single night. But Lord have mercy, that right there, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. But let's go to the phones real fast. Imraj, get up in here and please cleanse my palate, Imraj. Give me your height, your color, and your hood, kid.
Hey, 5'10". I got jam in my knees and I'm ready to spread black. Gardena, California.
Gardena, check it in, drop it, come on. What'd you think of that track?
What's up, people? Man, you know, I appreciate you bringing up this subject, boy. Jazz, blues, the whole 9 yards. You know, I do everything with it. I just love our people. I love the fact that it's, you know, it's not just June, it's the whole year, man. I'm glad that they set out everything for June, but it's the whole year. Everybody love our music, man. We influence everybody on there.
Did you hear that track from Etta James, I'd Rather Go Blind? Did you hear that track?
Yeah, you see, Beyonce did in Cadillac Records, right? Yeah, yes, sir. I love that movie. Oh, we had a heart attack. He couldn't even leave the shop. Yeah.
Are we not the most talented people on earth of all time?
Yes, sir. To quote the great Sidney Poitier, people can do the Watusi, but we are the Watusi. You know what I'm saying?
That's bars.
They can imitate, but they can't duplicate.
That's exactly right. Absolutely. So, what do you think of the show tonight? The show's gonna be cool, man. What you think?
I love it. I live for this. I live for this, dog. This, and you know, my faith. But we're gonna go on this one right now. I wait for y'all on Tuesday for that. I wait on Tuesday for that. But listen, underrated artist that y'all didn't mention it, and it hurt me. Because I know he's out there. It's Curtis Mayfield, man.
Yeah, man.
He got for sure. And that beat he did on "Give Me Your Love," I know that's got to be on there.
But are you gonna? Do you consider him to be an R&B artist? He's not R&B, man. He's a soul artist. He's not an R&B artist.
Come on. Well, you separate soul from R&B to me. What what is the exact difference between the two?
To me, when I think R&B, I'm thinking smoother grooves. You know, your Marvin Gaye music is R&B. To me, soul music, I'm going to pull out your Barry White. That's soul music. When you go Teddy Pendergrass, that's soul music to me. When you go deep into the depths of your soul and sing that music. What do you think?
So you don't think Marvin Gaye's later Sexual Healing and later on Marvin Gaye considered is soul music?
No,
I
think Sexual Healing started a new brand of R&B, man. It was like a pop soul, so it turned into an R&B song. It was a pop song mostly.
Yeah, but that was early 80s, though. I know you were saying 90s.
Yeah.
And, I'm going to say Parliament Funkadelic is my underrated group. They don't really get they get a little bit, but the fact that they spawned George Clinton and Bootsy Collins, the great Bootsy Collins, man, playing that bass.
One of the greatest bass players of all time, man. Bootsy was a monster.
Yes, sir. And you know what I'm saying? I'm a 70s, 80s guy, so the 90s, like I said, that's your thing. But you know who the number one artist in the 90s is, man, for R&B, man.
Go ahead and say it. I'm about to say it, too. I don't have him at number one.
Locked up. They won't let me out. They won't let me out.
Look,
I can't believe he ruined his career like that,
I'm being honest tonight, and a lot of people ain't going to like the fact that I got that cat on my list, but I got to be honest. I can't keep him off the list just because he's done some foul stuff. If that was the case, I'd have to take half the people off the list. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, do you take OJ off the list for being greatest quarterback? You don't. You don't. You don't.
No.
You don't. R. Kelly is number one to me.
He's not my number
from
one.
From 12 play on up, man.
He's not my number one, but he's on the list. That's all I'll say.
Okay, I give you that, but I can't think of nobody. You know, I mean, you want to say Usher? Okay, maybe.
Well, I got 16 of them, and so does Troy. So we're gonna break them down. I gotta go. I gotta get to this 7 series. But by the way, give Imran's call.
Hey! Hold on. The beat. It should be the message from Grandmaster Flash.
Man, why y'all keep going back to this old school stuff? And no old school track is on here. None. It's all newer stuff. Yeah. 90.
You know what Cube did on Check Yourself? You used that beat, man?
Yeah, check yourself.
What?
I understand. I didn't make the list. I'm just bringing it to y'all. That's it. Give Imran's calling tonight. He won't let me go. I gotta go. I'll talk to you later, King.
I'm listening, dog. All right. Have a great weekend.
Enough of that. Come on, man. Let's jump right into the 7 series, Andy. Let's go. Come on. Let's go.
One topic, 7 answers. It's time for the 7 series on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
The 7 greatest hip-hop beats of all time, according to Spotify. You want to add to the discussion? You know how we put it down for the town. 1-800-920-1580. 1-800-920-1580. 7 greatest hip-hop beats of all time. Here's number 7. He was known as Puff Daddy back then and prides himself on being the man who invented the remix. As far as hip-hop is concerned, you could probably make the case. This song was a hit single from his album No Way Out and was powered by the monster single I'll Be Missing You, which was a tribute to the death of Biggie. But this track was so hot that even Dr. Dre himself was quoted as saying that he hated that Puff Daddy got to the sample first because he was planning on using it himself. What is the 7th greatest hip-hop beat of all time? It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Yeah. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. Now, what y'all wanna do? Wanna be ballers, shot callers, brawlers, who be dipping in the Benz with the spoilers, on the low from the Jake and the Taurus, trying to get my hands on some grants like Horace. Yeah, living the raw deal. 3-course meal, spaghetti, fettuccine, and veal.
That is the 7th greatest hip-hop beat of all time. All about the Benjamins, baby. From Puff Daddy and I think in the Family back then, right? Here's number 6. From the album that I mentioned the other night as the best hip-hop album of the last 20 years, My Beautiful, Dark, and Twisted Fantasy is a perfect hip-hop album. No skips. And I'm partial to So Appalled and Monster myself. But Spotify believes that this lead single from Kanye's 5th album is the standout amongst a sea of hip-hop brilliance. From the man that we used to call genius, what is the 6th greatest hip-hop beat of all time? Kanye, Power. Listen. I disagree with this choice, by the way.
I'm living in that 21st century, doing something mean to it. Do it better than anybody you ever seen. Do it. Screams from the haters, got a nice ring to it. I guess every superhero need his theme music. No one man should have all that power. The clock's ticking, I just count the hours. Stop tripping, I'm tripping off the power.
That is the sixth greatest hip-hop beat of all time, Kanye West. Power from my beautiful Dark and Twisted Fantasy. When we come forward, we continue the list, and we will march towards number one. And Troy Rawlings is en route. We have our debate finally kick this thing off and find out who's the greatest R&B artist male from the 90s. Right here on the Danny Mo Show, KBLA. Stay there.
From Bakersfield to Los Angeles. Middays to nighttime. Like George and Wheezy, Danny Morrison is moving on up at KBLA Talk 1580.
It's Black Music Appreciation Month, one of my favorite months of the year. Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News, brought to you in part by CaliforniaBlackMedia.org. What's up, SoCal? Here are a few Black Music Month events to help you celebrate. First stop, throughout June, Disneyland is honoring the history of Black music with bands performing hits by Black artists from various decades. Next, catch the screening of Heart and Soul, a love story at the Grammy Museum, June 8th in the museum's theater. And on Juneteenth, that's right, June 17th, join Mayor Karen Bass and Councilwoman Heather Hutt on Jefferson Boulevard for the naming and ribbon cutting ceremony of the New Orleans Corridor, followed by a second line parade all the way to the main stage in front of Harold and Bells for a concert celebrating Black music with Terrace Martin and Friends, Irvin Mayfield, 1500 or Nothing, and more. Visit NOLA, the number 2, LAtickets.org. NOLA, the number 2, LAtickets.org. Fun fact, President Jimmy Carter established June as Black Music Month in 1979. Here's to 44 years.
You're listening to K-Drip, where we play all the best classic water-wasting hits like Sprinklers in the Rain and Leaky Faucets. They're tunes from another time because now that we face a hotter, drier future, every drop counts. Despite an extremely wet winter, keep using less water, fixing leaks, and reusing indoor water for your garden. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more ways to conserve. Up next, brushing your teeth with the water on.
K-Drip. Real talk, real time, the gospel truth. You're listening to the Danny Morrison Show on KBLA Talk 1580.
We're smack dab in the middle of my 7 series of the night from Spotify. It's the greatest hip-hop beats of all time, 7 of them. We're up to number 5, okay? This MC was quoted recently as saying that he is the only one that you shouldn't F with in a versus battle. Plus, he also said that he should be regarded as the greatest rapper of all time, even though Billboard and Vibe magazine had him at number 7, which is too high in my opinion, but I digress. That being said, the second single from his 6th studio album, Carter 3, peaked at number 6 on the Billboard Hot 100, making it his second top 10 and second highest peaking song on the chart as a lead artist at the time. What is the 5th greatest hip-hop beat of all time? Lil Wayne, listen.
Your money.
When this beat kicks in, it is kind of fire. I ain't gonna lie. Let's go.
Mac, I'm going in. A millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire, tougher than Nigerian hair. My criteria compared to your career just isn't fair. I'm a venereal disease, like a menstrual bleed through the pencil and leak on the sheet of the tablet in my mind. Cause I don't write, cause I ain't got time. Cause my seconds, minutes, hours go to the
that is the 5th greatest hip-hop beat of all time. That is Lil Wayne, a million from the Carter 3. Probably his best album. Maybe. Here's number 4. This song was really controversial at the time. Not because it was meant for Mary J. Blige, though, because it was, but because of Tupac Shakur. Legend has it that when Tupac was shot in late 1994 during a robbery at a Manhattan recording studio, which ended with Tupac recovering from gunshot wounds in a hospital, it was noted that Biggie came into the studio 20 minutes later, yet managed to remain safe. Not least by Tupac himself, who didn't exactly love the timing of this song released 2 months after, saying to Vibe magazine, quote, "Even if that song ain't about me, you should be like, I'm not putting it out because he might think it's about him." Yet they chose to do it anyway. can make the case. Is it about Tupac? Perhaps we will never know. What is the fourth greatest hip-hop beat of all time? The Notorious B.I.G. Who Shot Ya? Listen.
As we proceed to give you what you need. Get live, mother. As we proceed to give you what you need. Get live, mother.
Now turn the mics up. Turn that mic up. Yeah, the beat is knocking. Leave that mic up though.
Who shot ya?
Boy, turn up louder. Yeah.
That's what I was trying to get to Biggie, but we got a show to do. Come on now. Number 3, by the way, of the greatest hip-hop beats of all time. One of the most underrated hip-hop groups of all time. The song is the debut single from Virginia Beach rap duo Clips. The song was produced by the Neptunes and featured on the Clips' debut album, Lord Willin'. The song became a summer top 40 hit, reaching number 30 on the Billboard Hot 100 back in 2002. Pusha T said that Pharrell nearly gave the beat to Jay-Z, and they kept it. And we know Jay would have murdered that track. Oh. What is the third greatest hip-hop beat of all time? Clips Grindin'. Listen.
Yo. I go by the name.
This beat is bananas, man.
From the Neptunes. And I just want to let y'all know
I'm your pusher.
the world is about to feel something that they never felt before.
Let's go.
From ghetto to ghetto, the backyard to yard, I sell it whip on whip and soft to hard. I'm the neighborhood pusher, call me subwoofer, cause I pump bass like that, Jack. On or off the track, I'm heavy cuz ball to your fall and shoot the duck to the Fetty Gov. Sorry my love, but I'm seeing through these eyes. Benz convoys with the wagon on the side. Only big boys keep deuces on the ride. Gucci Chuck Taylor with the dragon on the side.
Alright. That is number 3. Andy is in here reciting every single lyric in that song. You know that song like that? I don't know it like that. I know half that track. Pusha is a monster. Is that not one of the tightest beats of all time?
First off, you can make the case that this was the number 1 beat of all time.
Yeah.
This song came out when I was in high school. Let me tell you something.
Go ahead.
You can read the comments all throughout, you know what I'm saying, the video on YouTube or whatnot. But I'm telling you, when this song came out, if you was into rapping or into hip-hop or whatever, you was hearing them banging that same beat on the tables. I'm telling you, heard this beat everywhere.
So that was everybody's instrumental, all the wannabe MCs back
absolutely, then. Absolutely, 100%.
Pusha was a monster on that song, on every song.
His brother too, though. Don't sleep on Malice.
Are they twins? They look a lot alike.
They're brothers. I don't know if they came out the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I'm not really too sure.
I don't know if they came out.
You know what I mean.
Lord have mercy.
Were they born at the same time?
Thank you, doctor. We appreciate it. Thank you for the clinical terms. Jesus. Hit number 2, which, by the way, for the record, you can make the case that this could be number 1. This is the standout track of Mobb Deep's sophomore album, The Infamous. According to Daily Beast, quote, how Havoc, along with his late partner in rhyme, Prodigy, crafted that beat is down to pure fate. Havoc had a handful of records scattered around his place, one of which happened to be Herbie Hancock's Jessica, a vinyl he'd lifted from Prodigy's grandfather, Bud Johnson Jr., one-time member of the doo-wop group, The Chanters. Havoc honed in on a piano melody, slowed it down, and looped it until it resembled a bass sound. Quote, I just had the mind to sample it and rearrange it to what it was, he explains. We taught ourselves everything. We were just demons in the studio, watching other producers like Large Professor and Primo, not asking questions. We were just sitting there watching, end quote. And by the way, them cats were only 19 years old when they crafted this track. What is the second greatest hip-hop beat of all time? Mobb Deep, Shook Ones, Part 2. Listen. Oh, my God.
Hold up, son. Word.
This is bananas right here. Oh, this should be number 1.
Yeah. To all the and the $100 billers. For real.
I love it 8 Mile too, man. With Eminem.
Check it out, man.
Everybody from the 313. Remember?
I got you stuck off the realness. We We be the infamous, you heard of us. Official Queensbridge. Tomorrow comes equipped for warfare. Beware of my crime family who got nothing to share for all those who wanna profile and pose. Rock you in your face, your brain with your nose bone. You all alone in these streets, cousin. Every man for theyself in his land. We be and keep them shook crews running like they supposed to. They come around, but they never come close to. I can see it inside your face.
I gotta listen to that whole track right now, but we got a show to do. That is Mobb Deep Shook Ones, Part 2. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580. Look, listen.
Danny.
Come on, listen.
Danny.
How is that not number one?
Danny.
What? That's number one.
You know, when the song came out, I was obviously a youngin'.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was still a hip-hop fan, and I liked the song.
Yeah.
But you just said it. I don't know what it was about the 8 Mile movie.
Everybody from the 313.
You talk about MCing, and I know it was just a movie.
Yeah.
But the way Eminem rocked this beat, and the way everybody in the crowd was just like, I felt like it brought that beat. It gave it like, it was like you was, what you call it, you know? CPR, resuscitation, or whatever you call it.
I mean, that's the way they come out. That's what you said in clinical, but I'm just...
Okay,
I'm just saying.
But it brought that beat to like another, like, it gave it another life.
I bet they got bunch more million streams
Absolutely.
after that movie. There's
Absolutely.
no doubt. M rips that thing. 4 Pac, 3 Pac, 2 Pac, none. Woo! Woo!
See, I'm about to go watch 8 Mile now.
Me too, man. By the way, rest in peace. What's her name? Brittany, what's her name? Young lady in that movie, his love interest, no longer with us. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
Committed suicide a few years ago, yeah.
Damn.
Brittany, what's her last name? Can't remember her last name. We'll look that up. And finally, what is number one, huh? It's a West Coast classic. And a song that we all know and love. According to Up Rocks magazine, listen to this because I couldn't have described this any better myself. Quote, needing a hit, Dr. Dre put the label on his back. In late 1999, he released this song, the lead single from his second solo album, 2001. The song immediately felt like the future. The raw, buzzing grooves of G-Funk had been stripped out and replaced by pristine strings, slick drums, and that blinging piano loop. It was the ultimate in neck-snapping technology, visionary yet West Coast to the core, and presented with a suitably stylish Hype Williams-directed music video loaded with bouncing lowriders and hard-partying crowds shot in the filmmaker's distinctive, rich color palette. Press play 24 years later, and you feel the palm trees looming over your head, the stickiest California weed enters your bloodstream, and the car you may or may not be driving automatically starts to bounce up and down from its front suspension. Such a great description. What is the greatest hip-hop beat of all time? Y'all already know. Dr. Dre, still D.R.E. Come on.
Still Snoop Dogg and D.R.E. Guess who's back? Still doing that, Andre?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Check me out. It's still Dre Day. AK, though I've grown a lot, can't keep it home a lot. Cause when I frequent the spots that I'm known to rock, you hear the bass from the truck when I'm on the block. Ladies, they pay homage, but haters say Dre fell off. How? My last album was The Chronic. They wanna know if he still got it. They say raps change, they wanna know how I feel about
it. If you ain't up on things.
Dr. Dre is the name, I'm ahead of my game. Still puffin' my leaf, still with the beats. Still not loving police. Still rock my khakis with a cup.
That is the greatest hip-hop track of all time, greatest hip-hop beat of all time, based on Spotify magazine and Spotify site and the whole nine. Gotta give it to him. That is a pretty good selection. I would have gone Shook Ones. You know what should have been on there too? I'm surprised that Quiet Storm ain't in that top 7. Quiet Storm, Lil' Kim, come on.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I know you wasn't a big fan of Future, but what do you think some of the beats that they had on that list? You wasn't feeling Mask Off?
I don't like his songs nor his flow. I don't like him. I'm just,
Okay.
I know there's a Future got to follow him.
Because that Mask Off, I mean.
You like that song?
It made me want to bust out the flute again. I'm just saying. It was very inspiring.
There's a joke there, but I ain't going to touch it.
Uh-huh.
When we come forward, we kick this bad. Hey, I'm just saying, we kick this bad boy off. The Heat 16 launches for the first time ever. Troy Rawlings is in studio. We got our 16-1, and we gonna have some fun. Danny Morrison Show, KBLA Talk 1580 right now. News and traffic. Stay there.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. A mural is being created in Springfield, Massachusetts to honor Oscar-winning costume designer Ruth Carter. She was the first black woman to win 2 Academy Awards for her work on the Black Panther movies. Carter virtually joined a press conference at City Hall this week where it was announced that the mural will be going up at the Rebecca Johnson School. Several companies are vowing to end surprise junk fees following pressure from the Biden administration